वंदे गुरुपदद्वन्द्वं भक्तबिंदसमन्वितं श्रीचैतन्यप्रभुं वन्दे नित्यानन्दसहोदितं श्रीनन्दनन्दनं वन्दे राधिका चरणोदयं गोपीजनसमायुक्तं बिन्दावनं मनोहर वाञ्छाकल्पतरुश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यश्च पतितानं पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयति गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवं। वृन्दावै तुलसीदेव वै पिया वै केशवस्य च कृष्णभक्तिपदे देवी सत्त्ववत्त्वयि नमो नमः। नारायण नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयो मुदीरये। संकीर्तने कृष्ण कथोपदेशे गौरीयपत्रस्य प्रकाशने च सदानुरक्त गुरुभक्तियुक्तो भक्ति प्रमदाख जगोदरुन् धैर्यं सदा परिभवग्न भविष्टदोहं तीर्थास्पदं शिवविरञ्चनुतं शरण्यं भीतात्युहं पनुतपालभवाद्वितूतं वन्दे महापुरुषते चरणारविन्दं यत्पादपल्लवनखचन्दमनिच्छटाय विस्फुजित किमपि कपोऽपि स्वदर्शि पूर्णानुरागरससागर सारमूर्तिः साराधिकामयि कदा कृपां करोसि। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तबिंद। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तबिंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे। आजानुलम्बित भुजौ कनकावदातो संकीर्तनैकपितरो कमलायताक्षो विश्वाम्बरो द्विजवरो जुगधर्मपालो वन्दे जगत्प्रियकरो करुणावतारो। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे। नमामि गंगे तव पादपङ्कजं सुरासुरैर्वन्दितो दिव्यरूपम् भुक्तिं च मुक्तिं च ददासि नित्यं भावानुरूपेण सदा नराणां। गंगातरङ्गरमणीयजटा कलापं गौरी निरन्तरविभूषी वामभागं नारायणो प्रियमनङ्गमदापहारं वाराणसीपुरपति भजवीशनाथं। वागीसजुष्व वदने लक्ष्मीर्यस्य च वक्षसि यस्यास्ति हृदये संवित् त्वं सिंहमहं भजे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे। गौरांगैकवती ध्वजा स्थितमति श्री गौरधाम स्थिति सत्सैक विधिर्भुजंग विरति दुष्टो व्यथा निस्थिति श्रीरूपैकरति सजा सनातन नति श्रीजीव तेजो स्तुति श्री सिद्धांत सरस्वती विजयते गौरी गोष्ठीपति श्री सिद्धांत सरस्वती विजयते गौरी गोष्ठीपति श्री शिल भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी Thakur Prabhupada, Gauri Goshtipati, said that nothing permanent in this material world, all temporary. Nothing permanent in this material world, all temporary. We must go out of any attraction or repulsion of this material world. Otherwise, Hari Bhajan is quite impossible. A genuine Gaudiya Sadhu always try to look everything with a wise conception to understand the ultimate result or the consequence of unstable objects. The other day, I was discussing so many things about the teachings of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Prabhupada, exclusive Siddhantas, which is almost rare in this material world. Many times I was bound to speak in Vrindavan, here and there, that up to now, we have the privilege to hear or go through the writings of so many acharyas like Ramanujacharya, Madhacharya, Vishnu Swami, Nimmarkacharya, or after that so many acharyas. We have the scope to hear them or to go through their writings or siddhantas. But this kind of siddhanta given by Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Prabhupada, Nayan Mani Manjari, is quite impossible. It is exclusive siddhanta because Radharani, if we can find Radharani among us, then Radharani going to speak that way. We cannot expect this kind of siddhanta from any acharya. It is not their fault actually. Supreme Lord, according to the instruction of Supreme Lord, Srila Ramanujacharya going to go up to that point, Srila Madhacharya going to stop up to that point. This way all acharya going up to certain level. But if we can find Radharani among us, then we can expect that kind of siddhanta, which we are going to get from Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Prabhupada, Nayan Mani Manjari. It is quite impossible. The other day I was speaking, you can remember, one vital question was put by Dronachal Parvat to Hanumanji Maharaj. One vital question was put by Dronachal Parvat in front of Hanumanji Maharaj about Sanatan Dharma. Maharaj, what is Sanatan Dharma? He is asking. Sri Hanumanji Maharaj was bound to reply very clearly that Krite Patikritam Esho Dharmaha Sanatanaha. Krite Patikritam Eshaha Dharma Sanatanaha. This means this Sanatan Dharma is going to teach us the extreme dignity and gratefulness unto the lotus feet of Supreme Lord and His devotees. This Sanatan Dharma is the extreme expression of gratitude. So naturally, accordingly, we all must be ready to take prompt action to serve the Supreme Lord and His devotees without any fault. Because we are ever grateful to them, knowingly or unknowingly. Each and every Jivatma, they are all Vaishnava. They can confess or they cannot confess. It doesn't matter. So naturally, when we can discover our duty for each other, first of all, if we can discover our relationship with the Supreme Lord, then automatically we can discover our duty for Supreme Lord. The sense of relationship behind going inside your heart, then we can have a clear conception about this Sambandha Gyan. What is the relation of Supreme Lord with Maya? What is the relation of Supreme Lord with Jivatma? What is the relation of Jivatma with Maya? What is this material world? All different kind of big fields, wide. So, when we can discover our duty for each other, especially our duty for the Supreme Lord and His devotees, actually when we can see the whole world in relation to the Supreme Lord, in that case, immediately the whole world can become automatically free of any problem. Automatically. So, by now we can understand what is by now we can understand that what is Sanatana Dharma or Atma Dharma or Vaishnava Dharma, all synonym. So how we can say that they are Vaishnava, those who want to identify themselves as the great enemy of Gauriya Math? How we can say then so? How we can say at all that they are Vaishnava, whereas we can find they are going to identify themselves as the enemy of Gauriya Math unnecessarily. They are going against the Prabhupada Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur and his mission. Whereas they cannot deny their direct link with Sri Gauriya Math. Quite impossible. Actually, if we can trust a cat to take care of a pot full of milk, then what we can expect? That is the situation. Everybody busy with La Puja Pratishtha. That is called actually big problem. A snack is given milk pot to drink milk. If a snack is given a milk pot to drink milk, still ultimately that snack going to give us poison and poison, only poison, nothing else in return. So, this case is an exact example before us to understand the behavior of Guru Drohi, those who are against Guru Vaishnava. To identify themselves, we can understand. Long before, in Purushottam Dhamma, I was bound to discuss this point. How to detect who is Vaishnava and who is not Vaishnava. How to detect. How to arrest them. The Siddhanta given by Prabhupada speaking, if we can see that they are always going against Guru Vaishnava, their Siddhanta, their activities, when we can find they are always going against Guru Vaishnava regarding any Siddhanta Vijay or anything. Then you must understand they are actually Guru Drohi. They are actually Guru Drohi. They are not actually the follower of Gurudev. They are not Vaishnava. Bhaktivinoda Thakur many times told that Vaishnava Charitra Sadai Pavitra Jeninde Himsa Kori Bhakati Vinod Nasambasi Tare Sada Thake Mauno Dhari. Bhaktivinoda Thakur speaking in his writing that those who are going to criticize, those who are going to pass some dirty remarks about Guru Vaishnava, pure Guru Vaishnava, they are actually Guru Drohi. Even we don't like to see their face, what to speak about their writing and Harikatha. We don't like to see their face. And we don't like to talk with them. We like to avoid them. How surprising the case is. Even in dream, it is quite impossible for us to think that way. Whereas as per authentic Shastra Vichar, we know from Shastra Srimad Bhagavad Gita Mahapuran, Bhagavan Sri Krishna was speaking in front of Uddhavji Maharaj that Acharya Mam Bijanyat Nava Mannet Karhichit. Acharya Mam Bijanyat Nava Mannet Karhichit. No Martu Buddha Suyeto Sarvadeva Mayu Guru. Oh, Dhap, try to understand that I myself appear in the form of Acharya. I am Acharya. I myself Acharya. Know it for sure that I am Acharya. I appear in the form of Acharya. Never try to ignore, never try to insult Gurudev Acharya. Never try to express any envious mood, envious attitude against him, knowingly or unknowingly. Don't try to express any material conception about Gurudev. Na marta buddha suyeto sarvadeva mayo guru. Guru is sarvadevamay. Guru is sarvadevamay. All Guru, inside Guru, all demigods, they are there with Krishna. Shakshad haritena samasta sasya rukta stata bhabbate sabbi. Kintu bhavarya priyavatasya. This slok you know by Sanat Chakravarti. You should know it for sure that Gurudev is Sarvadevamaya. In that case, how we can criticize Guru Vaishnava? How we can go against Guru Vaishnava? So you see, in that case, when we say they are going against Prabhupada, they are going against the mission of Prabhupada, in that case, how we can speak, how we can say forcefully that surely they are Bijacharya, Jagat Guru, not a matter of joke. How we can speak that way? Whereas the minimum qualification of Saranagati, which is most vital factor, is not found in them. One by one I can go on giving some example. How Prabhupada wanted to bring some revolution in our life without any self-interest. But we are so foolish, we could not understand Prabhupada. We are always busy with our own self-interest. This is not any question of sectarianism. This is not any question of sectarianism. This is not any question of sectarianism, but this is simply a question of humanity. This is simply a question of humanity, degradation of humanity should be degraded heavily. Really, degradation of humanity, how we can bear degradation of humanity is really, it should be regretted heavily. Bhaktivinoda Thakur in his Kirtan giving example that Tumi to Thakur, Tomar Kukur Bolia Janoho More. Bhaktivinoda Thakur specially speaking this to give clear conception about how we can love Guru Vaishnava. I can give more example, one by one. Bhaktivinoda Thakur giving an example of dog. A dog is known as the most faithful creature in the history of creation. So Srila Sachidananda Bhaktivinoda Thakur was bound to give this example in front of us to clarify the exact meaning of Saranagati, submission. A dog is always ready to protect the interest of master. Always. In that case, how we can identify, in that case, how I can identify as a disciple of Srila Prabhupada, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur. Whereas all my activities, all my remarks can easily prove that I am totally against Srila Prabhupada and his mission. I heard an example from a Vaishnava that even a ferocious lion could not go against a man from whom the lion had received a treatment when it was when that lion was very, very sick. That time he was bound to get treatment from a man. So I heard an example from a Vaishnava, great Vaishnava, that even a ferocious lion could not go against a man from whom the lion had received a treatment when the lion was very, very sick with some leg injury, sick with leg injury. From this practical example, we can understand or we can learn that how exclusive way we should express our gratitude unto the lotus feet of Sadguru Vaishnava forever. Agitation, how we can express agitation against Guru Vaishnava? How possible? Now I am going to speak the incident. The incident given below, actually, I am going to speak. Once a slave, Kritodas, because at that time there was a slavery system in Spain, Portugal, Greece there. So once a slave was bound to fly. One day a slave was bound to fly because of great torture operation done on him by his master. This is one history I'm speaking. It's practically actually I'm speaking. As the incident happened in Spain, Portugal. That time there was a system of slavery. And that slave was in great problem because of the abnormal torturing. So he was somehow successful to fly. He was somehow successful to fly to an adjacent forest somehow in the evening time. It was night time, evening over, It was night time and there was torrential rainfall with strong wind blowing. Somehow he was bound to take shelter in a cave. All around deep darkness, nothing was visible, nothing. All darkness all around, deep darkness. Suddenly, due to strong lightning, the flashlight was sufficient for him to discover a sick lion inside the cave. What a great danger. But the lion was very, very sick with leg injury. Continuously blood coming out of the leg injury. Due to heavy leg injury, the lion was crying painfully. Just next day, very early in the morning, the slave took decision to collect some herb and creeper, Ayurvedic medicine, herb and creeper to apply as medicine into the leg of the lion from where continuously blood was flowing out. And not only that, but also with a piece of cloth taken from his own cloth, he started dressing the injury. And in the meanwhile, a group of searching party under the leadership of his master was doing comb operation. Comb operation was going on to search him. And the master was successful to catch him and to take him back again, to give him a heavy punishment. Heavy punishment. Together with that, also, they took decision to take the lion to sell to a circus party. Together with that, they also took decision to take the lion somehow to sell to a circus party. They took decision to arrange a big fighting show among the slave and the lion someday in near future, to collect huge amount of money from public. On those days in Portugal, Spain, and Greece, that type of system was that. So ultimately, the date was fixed up. That day, the slave was taken forcefully to take part in the fighting show. Thousands of people were waiting to see the excellent show, fighting show. And of course, by then the lion was totally fit by the nurseman or the slave. Medicine was applied there by the slave already. So, on time, the slave was forcefully thrown inside the cage of the lion. Also, the lion started running to catch the man to eat. But a sudden, unexpected breakage was there. Everybody gone surprised. The lion, when got the smell, of the body of the slave from whom the lion received treatment, then the lion could not attack him because of the nourishment received from him before. The lion was grateful This faithfulness, this gratitude was found there with this ferocious lion, whereas no trace of faithfulness or gratitude can be found with me at all for Guru, Sadhu Guru Vaishnava. That is a tragedy. That is a painful situation. One cannot arrange the procedure to destroy the mission of Srila Prabhupada and his glories. It is not possible for anybody except a demon, except a great Vaishnava Aparadhi. We cannot expect. Nobody can take this kind of, plan to destroy the mission of Srila Prabhupada and his glories. But still, it was possible for X Vasudev and Y Vidya Vinod and others. Therefore, they are almost from the same groups. But still, it was possible for X Vasudev or Y Vidya Vinod and others. They all could prove their Saranagati unto the lotus feet of Prabhupada at the beginning. They all could prove their Saranagati unto the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada at the beginning. And not only that, but also their seva mood were really very spectacular, excellent. A remarkable seva were done by them as a special members of Gauriya mission. But at last, they all went against Srila Prabhupada. They all went against Srila Prabhupada and his mission to prove. They all went against Srila Prabhupada and his mission to prove their importance separately. They wanted to get Pratishtha separately. So, Avaishnava Mukhadgiram Harikathamritam Savanam Naivacha Kartabhya Sarpachishta Jathapayo. I was bound to discuss this point from Padma Puran. From Avaishnav, we cannot hear Harikatha. Maybe so nice argument and judgment can be there. Because his heart is full of mascharya, snack. When snack going to touch a pot full of milk, then the milk pot become poisonous. So we cannot, maybe it's Harikatha, like Harikatha. You can find countless Siddhanta Virod. I can show you, you bring their books, I can show you. Countless Siddhanta Virod is there. So a pot full of pure milk become useless when a drop of wine can be put in the pot. So a pot full of pure milk become useless when one drop of wine can be put in the pot. Similarly, somehow, so much seva was done before by them can now come to a flop end. And if, because of aparadh, if so many aparadhs appearing at heart, When all seva done before become useless. Become all useless. Like one elephant taking bath in a nice pond. Very clear water. After taking bath, the elephant coming out of the pond, and after that spreading all dust particles all around his body. It's very nice powder. This way, Hastistan, our elephant can take bath, but ultimately, what use of this bath? This kind of reprisal attack on Srila Prabhupada and his mission is really unbelievable. We cannot believe. We express doubt at all Sambandhagyan was there with them. Because if Sambandhagyan is not there, if we cannot discover our Sambandhagyan with Guru Vaishnava and Bhagavan, then actual seva is not possible. Actual seva, not possible. We can show something, nothing else. So another incident I like to speak in front of you is from same place, Spain. Actually, I like to give this example in front of you to clarify. It's very clear idea about genuine Sambandhagyan. You can get a nice knowledge. This is also a historical incident I heard from a big Vaishnava. It is also from Portugal. A father missing from a boy from childhood. A father missing from a boy from childhood somehow. Only mother was responsible to take care of the baby, the boy. Someday when he grew up as a big fighter like his father, then mother wanted to bring him back. Mother wanted to bring his father back by his son somehow. He wanted to engage his son to bring back her husband. I mean the father of the son. But not speaking, so long he was not speaking anything about father. Now today she is going to speak all in details about the father, his father, how he was missing. Somehow to search out his own father, he started with the pre-information received from mother. Mother speaking all in details today. His father was a main fighter. His father also was a big fighter on behalf of the king of the country. Also, in show fighting, he was habituated to appear on stage in front of public. Knowingly or unknowingly, if any aparad is there with Guru Vaishnava, then the Sambandhagyan can disappear. But I am giving this example very nice. Now the boy was bound to reach the place long distance. The the son or mother going in search of his father. Unknowingly, such a fighting show game was arranged by the king between his own fighter, the father of the son, and the son of the fighter. The man who is the father of the son and the son himself. There was a big fighting was arranged. Who was just matching the son or the fighter, who was just matching for the fighter, who is going to fight on behalf of the king. The son, when started fighting with his own father, with sword, when he started fighting with his own father with sword, then it was very spectacular incident. But he didn't think it necessary. He didn't think it necessary to identify himself in front of father right now. So fighting going on, he thought that after the fighting is over, automatically my father can identify me by watching my heroism. Though in my childhood he left me with my mother, still my spatial appearance also can surely give him some idea to identify me. Let me see what's going to happen. With this kind of hope, he started fighting with father, very tactfully. But he didn't want to strike father directly. But all on a sudden, by the sword of father, he was heavily wounded. And while falling down on ground, he started shouting, "Father, Father!" On hearing the sound, the father was stunned. He could understand. And immediately he ran and crying. Immediately he could realize he must be my lost son. He must be my lost son. Then started crying heavily. Very heavily. The spectacular thing is that immediately after the discovery of the relationship, father and son, father started crying heavily, but not before that. Because immediately after the discovery of the relationship, his relationship with the son, the duty for the son automatically appeared inside the heart of father. If this kind of material relationship can show such magic spell, if this kind of material relationship can show such magic spell, then what to speak about the transcendental relationship between Guru and Shishya. Another example I like to quote here, that two mothers fighting with a baby. They are approaching the court, and king was in great trouble. Great problem to identify who is genuine mother. Two mothers fighting with a very nice boy. One speaking, my son, another speaking, no, my son. Then the king was in great problem. How to identify who is genuine mother? Then he took decision in front of, the two ladies, Matajis. Well, I can cut this boy into two pieces and give one piece to each of you. Okay? Then taking the boy in one hand, hanging with one hand, and taking one sword in hand, falsely, to see, to discover actual mother. Then one mother shouting, no, 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 don't cut that boy. He is not my son. He is the son of this lady. You give the son to. Then immediately the king could realize, okay, she is the actual mother of this boy. So how nice this example is. So if this kind of material relationship can show such magics, can show us such magic spell, then what to speak about the transcendental relationship between Guru and Shishya. What is the meaning of this word Diksha? Diksha, the word itself means to grow Sambandha Gyan. If I am initiated 30 years back, still today, if I am not getting any Sambandha Gyan, actual appropriate Sambandha Gyan, what kind of Diksha was there? What kind of Diksha? So, there is big problem. Maybe Sadguru is okay. I was not sincere. Maybe I was sincere. That was not Sadguru. But of course, there is one Siddhanta. In front of sincere soul, automatically Balaji Maharaj is going to help him or her to discover actual Sadguru. So Diksha, this word itself means to discover Sambandha Gyan, to develop Sambandha Gyan inside heart. So Sadguru can easily confer and impart Sambandha Gyan to a Shishya. Is actually Sambandha Gyan. Dibbog Gyan Yato Dadyat Kuryat Papasya Sangsayam. All infinity pap, sinful activities can get vanished immediately after getting the kripa of Gurudev. It's very simple thing. The main thing is that to receive Dibbog Gyan, Sambandha Gyan, Avidya Gyan, Prayojan Gyan. That is the vital thing. That's why we cannot say that the Diksha of Parikshit Maharaj was not complete. Prabhupada speaking, what do you mean by Diksha? If there is no development of any Sambandha Gyan, then what kind of Diksha was there? Whereas we can see through Bhagavad Katha, Srimad Bhagavad Ji Mahapuran Bhagavad Kathamrita, Parikshit Maharaj hearing Harikatha from Sukdev Goswami, Prabhupada speaking through this, the hearing procedure, Bhagavad Kathamrita, automatically the Diksha procedure was totally complete. No shortage was there. Hence, Parikshit Maharaj was 100% sincere. That's why this kind of question, Athato Brahma Jigyasa, Athato Tattva Jigyasa, Athato Brahma Jigyasa, Athato Tattva Jigyasa, This kind of jigyasa interrogation should be there inside a genuine candidate for Diksha. Genuinity should be there with the candidate who is coming to take Diksha. At present, there is no system. Nobody wants to follow the system written there in Hari Bhakti Vilas by Sanatana Goswami path. Nobody going to follow. So, they want to prove that we are more and more and more and more merciful than Srila Sanatana Goswami. Sanatana Goswami. You can remember, I told that Sanatana Goswami is so merciful, so merciful, so merciful, that even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu cannot speak clearly. Quite impossible. Sanatan samo biggo nahi tibu bane. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself speaking, this kind of, wise personality, so great personality, great Vaishnava. Such a great Vaishnava we cannot trace out in the whole world. Like Sanatana Goswami Pad. You can remember, long ago, I was speaking one, nice incident. One day morning time, Sanatana Goswami Pad went to take bath in Jamuna. And some other sadhu was also taking bath that time. Suddenly, Sanatana Goswami Pad discovered one scorpio, bichua, fall down in the water from an adjacent tree. Then Sanatana Goswami immediately catch the scorpio and put on the tree. In the meanwhile, that wicked scorpio giving poison to Sanatana Goswami. Another sadhu was then taking bath, watching this incident. Again the scorpio fall down again from the tree. Again Sanatana Goswami catching the scorpio and took the trouble to put on the tree to save its life. Another sadhu who was taking bath, gone mad. What you are doing? It's a wicked. Fighting you all the time, giving poison. Why you are going to protect? Sanatana Goswami laughing and speaking. Well, what that Scorpio have is going to be poison. The Scorpio can give only poison to me because the only belongings. And by the mercy of Supreme Lord, I am going to give this service. Because I can see, because Sanatana Goswami can see the whole world in relation to Supreme Lord. That is the difference. Long ago, I was speaking in Vrindavan one history, one nice, incident. One rich man distributing kambal, blanket among sadhus. So there was a big queue. One by one, that rich man distributing blanket to each and every sadhu. One wicked is not at all sadhu. He already took blanket, but again coming in line to get another blanket. But the rich man could identify him. Hey, he took kambal, huh? He took already blanket one time. That the wicked man speaking, the wicked sadhu speaking, no, I am coming for the first time. Then ultimately the helper was there. Some helpers, they also discover, they identify that, well, we already give one blanket to him, or no more we can give. Then the man going to sit in a nearby place and going to speak all rubbish against that rich man. All speaking all rubbish against that rich man. Then some nice, gentleman speaking to that rich man. That look, Sethji, that man going to speak all rubbish against you. The Sethji, the rich man laughing. The rich man speaking that I have a kambal, blanket, so I am distributing kambal, blanket. So only the property he has, this kind of character and behavior he is going to show. What problem it is? Let him distribute galagal. Let him distribute all rubbish against me. I am going to distribute kambal, what I have with me. So this kind of example I am giving to understand how we can arrest a genuine sadhu, how we can arrest a demon. Though Ravan coming in the guise of a sannyasi, still it was not impossible for Jatayu to understand that is demon, is Rakshas. So, only after the development of Sambandha Jnana, Bhagavat Seva, Guru Vaishnava Seva, all is possible only after the development of Sambandha Jnana, not before that. Srila Prabhupada used to say that the actual Diksha and so-called Diksha are not one and the same. After the obtainment of actual Diksha, from Sadguru, one can get the right in Bhagavad Seva. After the obtainment of genuine Diksha, one can, from Sadguru, one can get the right to do Bhagavad Seva. Not before that. Because otherwise not. Because false Diksha cannot allow you to attain that kind of perfection. So-called Diksha cannot help you to get Divya Jnana. So it is useless, almost useless. The only benefit you can get, Prabhupada speaking, so-called Diksha can only give you some sukriti. Only can give you some sukriti. Diksha, the word itself means to get Divya Jnana. If Divya Jnana not yet expressed inside the heart of one disciple or anybody, then it is not Diksha. Then what kind of Diksha this can be? We will have to estimate, we will have to think. Lack of Sambandha Jnana. Lack of Sambandha Jnana can put us in great trouble. What to speak about Seva? What to speak about Bhagavad Seva? Lack of Sambandha Jnana can mislead us lack of Sambandha Jnana can mislead us downwards. Towards wrong direction. This lack of Sambandha Jnana can mislead us towards wrong direction. Also, you should remember. We should remember that if already Sambandha was manifested, in that case what can happen? Also, already manifested Sambandha Jnana can get vanished. Suppose Sambandha already came inside somebody. That also can get vanished if aparad going to take place inside the heart of that people. Aparad means consciousness can drop. Aparad means consciousness can go down and down. Due to aparad, due to heavy aparad, day by day, consciousness can come down to zero level, even to zero level. Due to aparad, big aparad, great aparad, day by day, consciousness can come down to such a poor level that only me and mine, these two words can survive in my life. Also, even ultimately, go up to such a zero level that, that Jivatma can take birth as trees and, insects, everything. Now question is that, how it is possible for a disciple to go against Srila Prabhupada and his mission? If he is at all the disciple of Srila Prabhupada, if he is at all the disciples of Srila Prabhupada, then now question is that, how it is possible for a disciple to go against Srila Prabhupada and his mission? Maybe consciousness gone down due to aparad, or at all actual diksha was there or not. Maybe consciousness gone down due to aparad, or at all diksha, the procedure was not at all complete in his life. Otherwise, how it is possible for a genuine disciple to go against Prabhupada, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Prabhupada and his disciple? Any amount of scriptural analysis cannot prove that he is disciple. External symptom exhibition of huge seva, like huge publication or establishment of so many mosques all around the world, etc., is not the direct evidence of Guru Bhakti. It's not at all the direct evidence of Guru Bhakti. Be careful. This is not at all the direct evidence of Guru Bhakti. Without which everything zero. Without Guru Bhakti, everything zero. Srila Srinivas Acharya, you can remember, many times before I wanted to discuss this point. Srila Srinivas Acharya the Great told that, Balavan Adaru Yasso Nashad Guru Padambuje Srutoi Ropi Tasya Sastrair Krishne Bhakti Najayate. Balavan Adaru Yasso Nashad Guru Padambuje Balavan Adaru Yasso Nashad Guru Padambuje Srutoi Ropi Sastrair Krishne Bhakti Najayate. This means until and unless tremendous affinity unto the lotus feet of Sadguru is not felt, all analytical study of Veda, Vedanta, Upanishads, Purana, etc., all Shastras cannot yield even a drop of Krishna Bhakti in the life of a devotee or disciple. A disciple, a devotee who is not going to develop tremendous love and affection unto the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada. We cannot expect That's why many times I was bound to discuss so many slokas from 3rd canto, 11th canto, so many slokas. So ultimately, Suti, Siti, Puranadi, Suti, Siti, Puranadi, Pancharatting Vidhingbina, Oikantiki Guru, Aikantiki Harer Bhakti, Utpataiva Kalpate. It is written there in Shastra, it is one kind of, great problem in the name of Bhakti. It is one kind of great problem in the name of Bhakti. Because without, proper Siddhanta Vichar, without any analytical Vichar, without the support of Suti, Siti, Puran, Adi, Pancharatting, if Pancharatrik Vidhan going to support this point, I already discussed. Tremendous Guru Bhakti should be there. So Pancharatrik Vidhan, according to the Diksha, approved in Pancharatrik Vidhan, Guru is all. Without Guru, all blind. Whole world, dark. Ajnana timirandasa jnanjana salakya chakshurunmindangena tasmeshi Guruve nama. So, Suti Siti Puranadi Pancharatting Vidhingbina Vaikantika Harer Bhakti Utpataiva Kalpate. If different kind of Siddhanta Vichar, different kind of rules and regulation, different kind of, seva mood, all can prove that he is surely not going to follow his Gurudev. This kind of bhakti can never come out successful. This kind of bhakti is obsolete. This kind of bhakti is not allowed. Suti Siti Puranadi Pancharatting Vidhingbina Vaikantiki Harer Bhakti Utpataiva Kalpate. If we can find there is no link of Guru and Guru Varga, if you are going to break the link of Guru Varga and Saraswat Guru Varga, Guru Parampara, you are going to make separate Siddhanta, separate Vijaya, separate rules and regulation. You are going to make a new group so that they cannot come in contact with big Vaishnava. They cannot have the privilege to hear all the past Acharyas. So, in that case, they cannot develop consciousness. This is one kind of program through which you can make them idiot. You are going to make such program. So, you see, Guru Kipa hi kevalam. Guru Kipa hi kevalam. Guru Kipa is the topmost, backing, without which we cannot do Hari Bhajan. So, now question is that common people cannot understand the secrecy of bhajan. Common people cannot understand the secrecy of bhajan. They cannot understand what is bhajan. A blind can never be guided by another blind. Andha yathandhai rupaniyamanam teyopi sichadanda murudam nibadhya. Prahlad Maharaj already told, a blind can never be guided by another blind. There is a situation. But this is the condition of this material world. Who can give guidance to whom? By the help of money power, a materially rich man can try to make or establish a temple. But Prabhupada speaking, it is not possible. It is not possible for a materially rich man to establish a temple out of his Huge money power. This is the declaration of Srila Prabhupada. He also Prabhupada used to say, that by the material money power and effort to make a temple, establish a temple is one type of karma, nothing else. By the material money power and effort to make a temple, establish a temple by a material man is one type of karma, nothing else. Material man, yes. Deities, all deities, temples can appear. Only big spiritual personalities, Mahajan, they can install deities. They can establish mott. Material people, they cannot establish mott. It's possible. Because before establishment of mott, you will have to invite Anantadev to come and take place there in the temple. Without the adhishtan, without the establishment of Anantadev, without the adhishtan of Anantadev, you cannot make a temple. Materially rich man, out of his material money power, cannot establish a mott. By the help of material money power and effort to make a mott is one type of karma, nothing else. What can be the secret reason? What can be the secret reason to stop the glories of Srila Prabhupada in the form of Stabhavali, etc.? What can be the secret reason to stop the singing of the glories of Srila Prabhupada in the form of Sujanhar Buddharadi Padu Jugam Yugadhar Madhurandhara Patravaram? Why we are not going to allow devotees to sing this song in our society? What can be the reason? We can find in some places that they are not going to allow this song there. What can be the reason? Because they are demon. What can be the reason, secret reason? Why they are going to stop the glories of Srila Prabhupada and his mission? Why they are going to stop the singing of the glories of Srila Prabhupada and his parshas and about his mission? Why? What can be the secret reason to train up those newcomers so that they can automatically go against Gaudiya Math in future when they grow up? Why? Why this kind of demonic activity is going on? They are going to invite their total destruction. They are going to invite their total destruction in near future, 100%. To avoid Srila Prabhupada and his Gaudiya mission as a whole is the main objective of your preaching. What do you mean to say? What kind of preaching you are doing? Prana Chajar Setu Prachar, Prabhupada told, if the vitals of life is not there present in you, how you can go for preaching? Maybe you know some technique of preaching, but it's not actually preaching. In Chaitanya Charitamrita it is written, Krishna Sakti Bina Nahi Bhakti Pravartan. To install bhakti inside others, I must have Krishna Kripa, Krishna Sakti. To avoid Srila Prabhupada and his Gaudiya mission as a whole, is the main objective of our preaching. What kind of preaching it is? How this can be possible? Without Prabhupada, and without his mission, preaching is totally zero. Preaching is totally zero. Can come to can come to a flop end. Gauriya Math is the only path to the Godhead. This is a strong proclamation by Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada wanted to speak many times. Gauriya Math is the only pathway to the Godhead. If this be the direct proclamation, of Srila Prabhupada, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur, then how dare they can say that Gauriya mission is totally failure. Gauriya mission is totally failure in their mission. How it is possible for them to speak that way? Whereas they should know that the Gauriya mission was started by the blessing of Panchatattva and all previous Guru Varga. I already told. And again I can discuss this point. When Prabhupada started doing Satakati Nam Jagya at present Chaitanya Math, Brajapattan, then all Panchatattva and all previous Guru Varga came in front of Prabhupada. In that case, they giving instruction, order to Prabhupada to go for preaching. In that case, how we can say the preaching of Gauriya mission, preaching of everything? What can be the secret reason to stop the glories of Srila Prabhupada and his mission? What can be the reason to stop the singing of glories of Srila Prabhupada and his Parshadas? What can be the secret reason to stop the glorification of Srila Prabhupada and his mission? Why we are going to stop? Why they are going to stop? What can be the secret reason? To train up those newcomers in such a way so that they can automatically go against Gauriya Math in near future. To avoid Srila Prabhupada and his Gauriya mission as a whole, to avoid Srila Prabhupada, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur and his mission as a whole, if this becomes the objective of our preaching, then how we can get Krishna Bhakti? Gauriya Math is the only pathway to the Godhead. Srila Prabhupada repeatedly told this point. Gauriya Math is the only pathway to the Godhead. If this be the direct proclamation of Srila Prabhupada, then how dare we can say that the preaching of Gauriya mission is totally failure? How we can say the Gauriya mission is totally failure? How dare can say that way? Guru Drohi, those who are showing agitation against Guru Vaishnava, that Guru Drohi can get endless sufferings together with followers. Also ultimately they can reach hell for infinity period. They can reach hell for infinity period. So I like to quote this sloka also. Jo bhakti nairahitam annayena srinatiya to ubho brajataha nirayam kalamakshayam. He who is going to speak opposite way, just wrong way, not going to project the heretical, glories. Parampara is going to break Parasgara and going to establish some different things. So it is written, Jo Bhakti Nairahitam, who is not speaking rightly, just going against Gurudev and putting new Siddhanta, showing new track. Jo Bhakti Nairahitam Annayana Srinatiya to Ubho Brajataho Nirayam Kalamakshayam. Srila Prabhupada used to speak that the slightest deviation from the track of Guru Padma can ultimately throw you from Hari Bhajan. Common people, they are so foolish, they cannot understand the Sarup Lakhan and Tatastha Laksham of Sadhu. So it is very easy to make fool of them. Very easy. Common people, they are so blind, so ignorant, that we can make them cow, lamb, chagal, we can make them, so that they cannot speak. Like in communist reign, you cannot speak anything. So they are so ignorant, they cannot speak anything. They cannot understand anything. For common people, it is not possible for them to understand what is Hari Bhajan, what is not. It is quite impossible. You can remember the other day I was discussing this point, that how exclusive way Srila Prabhupada wanted to send one sevak, apparently who was doing so much seva in Chatak Parvat Gauriya Math. Prabhupada wanted to send him to Assam Gauriya Math. We are always busy with external development, but Srila Prabhupada is always busy with our spiritual development. Try to remember this point all the time. Srila Prabhupada used to say that to arrest the current perverted tide of this society is a seemingly unpleasant duty of Gauriya Math. That is why it is quite natural that most of the people cannot understand the unique and remarkable sacrifice of Srila Prabhupada and his mission. Always they are going against Prabhupada. Ignoring all different kinds of La Puja Pratishtha, ignoring all different kinds of expected donation and facilities available in this material world, Srila Prabhupada and his mission wanted to speak absolutely, wanted to speak about that absolute truth all the time. How exclusive way he wanted to give us the topmost facility to achieve freedom from Maya. Prabhupada always wanted to save us from Maya first, to engage us all in Hari Bhajan. Prabhupada always wanted to save common people from Maya, to engage them in actual Hari Bhajan. What kind of enormous sacrifice was there inside the heart of Srila Prabhupada? We cannot even imagine. It's quite impossible for us to imagine this point. Whole world can show respect and honor to those cheaters. Those who are in the guise of sadhu, in the name of Harikatha, Harivajan, those who are going to cheat the whole world. We common people, so foolish. We want to be cheated by them, that's why we are cheated. You can remember this quotation by Srila Prabhupada. Whole world can show respect and honor for those cheaters, those so-called spiritual leaders, those who all can go for compromise with Maya. They are always ready to make compromise with Maya. Those so-called pracharak, preacher. So whole world can show respect to them, but they cannot understand the actual mercy of Prabhupada. Those common people, they are so unlucky that they cannot understand the glories of Srila Prabhupada. They couldn't understand the glories of Prabhupada. They cannot understand even today. Hari Bhajan is not possible if we are already in Maya. Hari Bhajan cannot be done with the mixture of Maya. Hari Bhajan cannot be done with the mixture of Maya. Because the Hari is beyond the material limitation. Whole world going to show honor and respect to those cheaters, those who are staying in the guise of, spiritual leaders. But because they can make compromise with Maya all the time. You can get facility there with them, but still they are not ready. But there's common people, those who are going to be cheated by them, still they are not ready to understand Srila Prabhupada and his mission. Srila Prabhupada used to say that if the whole world going against me, still I cannot stop speaking about that absolute truth. Standing under the umbrella of the lotus feet of my Paramahansa Gurudeva, I cannot stop speaking about that absolute truth, absolute way. Srila Prabhupada often used to say, to serve the lotus feet of Paramahansa Jagat Guru, I am ready to go to hell with due contact if the situation demands so. I am ready to go to hell. Srila Prabhupada used to say that to seek the satisfaction of common people and to seek the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord are not the same. Someone can try to satisfy common people. Someone can try to satisfy common people, which is one kind of self-gratification process. Atma Patishtha, Atma Labh. Someone can try to satisfy common people. But to speak about their absolute truth, absolute way, for absolute way is called actual seva. But to speak about that absolute truth, absolute way, to sing the glories of that Supreme Lord, absolute way, to speak about that absolute truth, absolute way, it is called actual seva. If I can sing the glories of the Supreme Lord, if I can speak about that absolute way, for the total satisfaction of the Supreme Lord, Gaur Hari. This is called actual seva. Srila Prabhupada never wanted to go for any compromise with anybody regarding seva. Srila Prabhupada never wanted to go for any compromise with anybody regarding seva. Try to understand this point. To go for compromise with anybody regarding seva or siddhanta, to go for compromise with anybody means to leave something good and to accept something bad from him, which is not at all possible for a pure devotee. At any cost, a pure devotee cannot follow this procedure. One or two very important examples can clarify this point. Once Srila Prabhupada was invited by Raja Manindra Chandra from Murshidabad to speak Harikatha for 3-4 days. But when Srila Prabhupada went there and started speaking about that absolute truth, absolute way, then most of the members of Raja Manindra Chandra wanted to stop his speech. They started shouting, "Stop, stop, we don't like to hear this way." So, Srila Prabhupada was bound to stop Harikatha. He was bound to leave the spot to take shelter at Madan Mohan Mandir, as was arranged by the king. But Srila Prabhupada couldn't take even a drop of water there for 3 days. Srila Prabhupada was fasting without water. On returning from Murshidabad, Srila Prabhupada took prasadam and water at Sri Mayapur. Raja Manindra Chandra could not know. Radha Manindra Chandra couldn't know the fact. But at last, when he came to know about this fact, then he started crying like a child because of aparat done unknowingly by him. Srila Prabhupada told him that since I could not give anything to you, so I couldn't take anything from you. If I cannot give anything to anybody, so I cannot accept anything from anyone. So I have no right to accept anything from you because I was unable to do something good for you, absolute good for you. I couldn't do anything good for you. I couldn't speak Harikatha. So it was not possible for me to accept anything from you. Water or prasadam, nothing. Also, another example is very fitting here. Also, another example I like to quote here. Long ago, when Srila Bimala Prasad Saraswati was there with Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, there in Purushottam Dham, doing bhajan there, just near Srila Haridas Thakur Samadhi Mandir. There Srila Thakur, Bhaktivinoda Thakur used to speak, explain Chaitanya Charitamrita very lucid way in front of some devotees, all people including those Babajis, they also used to come to attend the Harikatha. Bimala Prasad also was there also, hearing Harikatha. One day, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur wanted to give the responsibility to continue Harikatha. One day, Srila Thakur, Bhaktivinoda Thakur wanted to give the responsibility of speaking Harikatha to Vimala Prasad Saraswati, because Bhaktivinoda Thakur wanted to go to Calcutta. He was supposed to go to Calcutta for some seva there. So he wanted to engage Srila Vimala Prasad to continue Harikatha. Okay. To carry out the order of Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Srila Vimala Prasad Saraswati started explaining Chaitanya Charitamrita to carry out the order of Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. The Vimala Prasad Saraswati started explaining Chaitanya Charitamrita accordingly. But due to his absolute speech, most of the audience started flying away. When Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur came back, he couldn't discover the reason for why most of the audience gone. He wanted to know the reason, but without speaking anything to anybody, he wanted to hear the Harikatha. So, requesting Vimala Prasad, you can go on speaking Harikatha, I can speak after some 1 or 2 days. You go on, carry on. Then, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur started hearing Harikatha from Srila Vimala Prasad. After hearing Harikatha, Bhaktivinoda Thakur could easily discover the reason for why people cannot such absolute truth. He could realize that Harikatha was excellent. Really, that Harikatha was very excellent. So, Bhaktivinoda Thakur was very, very satisfied to hear Harikatha, that kind of explanation. Now, Bhaktivinoda Thakur could realize that why most of the people, they gone. They have no right to hear about that absolute truth. That's why they are gone. On hearing this kind of absolute truth topics from Vimala Prasad Saraswati Thakur, he was really very, very, very much satisfied. Bhaktivinoda Thakur was very much satisfied. And he could easily realize the reason for why most of the people gone away. Okay. But those Sahajya Babajis, they took decision to beat him, Vimala Prasad. Even they wanted to kill him because of his absolute speech. Because of his absolute speech, Harikatha. Ultimately, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur took decision to send Vimala Prasad Saraswati at Brajapatan. Brajapatan means Sri Mayapur. Chandrasekhar Acharya Bhavan, at present it is Chaitanya Math. So, ultimately, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur took decision to send Vimala Prasad Saraswati at Brajapatan, Sri Mayapur, to start 100 crores of Nam Yagya. Srila Prabhupada took vow. Srila Prabhupada reached Brajapatan, Sri Mayapur. Srila Prabhupada took vow to follow the brata very, very strictly under the guidance of Srila Namacharya Haridas Thakur, non-stop Harinam, 3 lakhs of Harinam. In the middle of Brata, Panchatattva, together with all our previous Guru Varga, all were bound to appear in front of Srila Prabhupada to give an open instruction to go for massive preaching of Chaitanya Vani. Srila Prabhupada wanted to speak that how Srila Prabhupada wanted to speak the how it can be possible for him without manpower and money power. But those Guru Varga and Panchatattva, they told, you are going to get all possible helps and facilities, no doubt, very shortly. We are going to send everything to you. You go on doing preaching, absolute way. Really so, one by one, all those eternal parsads of Srila Prabhupada, all our Guru Varga started coming to join him for the exclusive seva of his mission. Srila Prabhupada used to say that slightest deviation from the track of Guru Padma can ultimately throw you away from Hari Bhajan. In this respect, I like to give you the direct example of X Vasudev and Y Sundarananda. Ultimately, they all left Prabhupada mercilessly. So any amount of previous seva, previous Guru seva, Gauranga seva, done by anyone can come to a flop end. Can come to a flop end if aparad going to contaminate the heart of the man, of the devotee, so-called devotee. Who going to deny their previous exclusive seva? Who going to deny their previous exclusive seva? But due to great aparad, unto the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada and Gauriya mission, all they fall down. They started criticizing Srila Prabhupada and his mission. They started writing volumes of books and papers against Srila Prabhupada and his mission. This can prove their false Guru Bhakti. This can prove their false Guru Bhakti. Genuine Guru Bhakti cannot allow you to run towards hell. How they can dare, how they dare to go against Srila Prabhupada and his mission. Whereas we know it very clearly that the Gauriya mission was started by the order of Sriman Mahaprabhu and Panchatattva, by Sriman Mahaprabhu, Panchatattva and his followers, by the order of them. How somebody can say that Srila Prabhupada and his mission was totally failure? If at all Srila Prabhupada and his mission failure, then surely we are also failure. Our mission is also failure, no doubt. Some can leave Srila Prabhupada directly. On the other hand, whereas some can leave Srila Prabhupada indirectly. Both the groups are fallen. But comparatively, the first group is more better than the second group. Because at least they left Srila Prabhupada, both the groups are fallen, we know. Some can leave Prabhupada directly, whereas some can leave Prabhupada indirectly. But both groups are fallen, no doubt. Srila Prabhupada, somebody going to leave Prabhupada indirectly? Both the groups are fallen. Comparatively, the first group is more better than the second group. Because at least they left Prabhupada openly without any conspiracy to get control over the chair of Srila Prabhupada and his title. Comparatively, the first group is more better than the second group because at least they left Srila Prabhupada openly without any conspiracy to get control over the chair of Srila Prabhupada and his title. Very often, Srila Prabhupada used to speak, don't try to get control over others. This can become a strong bondage for you. Why you are going to take control over others? It is my duty. I am acting as Acharya. Why you are going to take trouble to criticize others? To take control over others? It is my duty. Why you are going to criticize? I am there, I am acting as Acharya. It is my duty. So now we can understand the meaning of the sentence spoken by Srila Prabhupada, that slightest deviation from the track of your Guru Deva, Guru Padma, can ultimately throw you away from Hari Bhajan. A bucket full of pure milk can become useless by the contamination of a drop of wine. Same case happening. Try to understand this vital point, Siddhanta. First of all, we like to stop their mouth forever under the guidance of Sati Devi, who wanted to stop the mouth of Prajapati Daksha, the father. First of all, we like to stop their face. We like to make them shut up. First of all, we like to stop their mouth, their tongue forever, under the guidance of Sati Devi, who wanted to stop the mouth of Daksha Prajapati, the father. She told that doshan pareshan hi guneshu sadavo grinanti kechit no bhavadrishadiyaha gunangsha falguna bohuli karishnavo mahattamasteshu avidyat bhavanagam. Doshan pareshan hi guneshu sadavo grinanti kechit no bhavadrishadiyaha Gunangsha falguna bahuli karishnavo mahattamaskeshu avidyat bhavanaham. Those great Paramahamsas, they are great, they are so great that even some faults are found in somebody, they always try to ignore. They'll always try to help them to come up. They like to give them kippa so that they can also come up in Hari Bhajan. So dosan pareshan hi guneshu sadava grananti. Kechit no bhavadvishadiyaha. Some Paramahamsas there, they are so merciful. Even if I have yoggata bichare kuch nahi pai, tumharo koruna sara. There is no quality in me, inside me. But still, I have some fault, but that kind of fault they're going to overlook. They say, no, you have this kind of quality. You have the possibility to do Hari Bhajan. So you can go on. We are there. We are there behind you.
दोषान परेशान ही गुणेषु साधव गृह्णन्ति कचित न भवादृशादि दिया. But a man like you always try to criticize others. You know, some groups are there, Paramahansa, there is fault with me. They like to overlook and say, no, you have so many qualities, you can go. Dosana parishani guneshu sadhava gannanti. I have some faults. They like to count it as a quality. Whereas some people like you, Sati Devi speaking to Father Daksha, some people like you, if there is countless qualities in somebody, but still they like to search out some faults among them, in them. So Sati Devi speaking, Doshan pareshami guneshu sadhav gannanti kachit no bhavat drishadiya. Gunanscha falguna bahuli karishnava mahattamasteshu avidyat bhavanagam. Some groups are there, they are not going to pass any remarks about anybody, they are not going to praise, they are not going to glorify, or they are not going to criticize anybody. Okay, still it is okay. And those Paramahansa, they are going to show some quality among us. Like the example given by Bhaktivinoda Thakur in Jaiva Dharma, you can remember. The Mayavadi Vaishnav Das, first when he came to meet Paramahansa Babaji Maharaj, till Paramahansa Babaji Maharaj started crying. You sannyasi, why you are paying dandavat to me? You are so great. This way, Paramahansa Babaji Maharaj is Paramahansa, topmost Paramahansa. He was bound to accept that Jivatma, to give Diksha. He was bound to give Diksha. Ultimately, his name was Vaishnav Das. Not only that, ultimately, Babaji Maharaj one day sitting in Madhavi Lata Kunja and giving indication to Vaishnav Das that you have this kind of seva, nitya seva, inside Brajadam. Hey Sakhi, you see, look, Vrindavan is very angry. You try to take proper action so that divine couple, Radha Krishna, cannot, feel some disturbance. Be careful. This is your seva. This way Babaji Maharaj is going to indicate Vaishnav Das someday, in the very early in the morning, Nishanta Leela. So nice example. So Guru Vaishnava always going to help us in countless ways. And Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj speaking, it is really unfortunate. We are really unfortunate. Those who are going to help us, those who are going to help us in the way of Hari Bhajan, those who are going to speak about their absolute truth, absolute way, unluckily, we always think they are our enemy. That is the tragedy. Those who want to deliver us, those who want to help us countless way, we want to indicate that they are enemy. Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj crying and speaking this way. So, Sati Devi, Durga speaking this way. Dosano paresham hi guneshu sadhava gannanti kachit no bhavadrisha diya gunansha falguna bahuli karishnavo mahattamasteshu aviddat bhavanagam. Also, when somebody going to criticize Guru Vaishnava, somebody going to criticize Prabhupada and his mission, what is the advice of Sati Devi? Sati Devi speaking, Karno pidhayo nirayad jadakalpa ishe. Karno pidhayo nirayad jadakalpa mishe. Dharma vitaryas srinivir nivir rasamane chindyat prahasya rushatim masatam prahuschet jivham Masunopi tato visrijyat sadharmaha. What Devi speaking? Devi Maya? Karno pidhayo nirayad jadakalpamishe. If you are not able to protest heavily against those idiots, those are Guru Drohi, those who are going to criticize Guru Vaishnava, those who are going to criticize Prabhupada and Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Prabhupada and his mission, then it is the instruction of Devi. Karno pidhaya nirayad jadakalpamishe. If you have no capacity to protest heavily, then, stop your ear plug and go away from this place. Stop hearing. Stop hearing all these rubbish and go away from there. Instantly you will have to leave that place. Or dharma vitarja srinadhir nidhir astamane chindat rahasya rusati masatam prahustet jivham ashunopi tato visrijya sadharma. If you have power, you can cut the tongue of that idiot. If you have power, you can cut the tongue of that idiot who is going to criticize Prabhupada and his mission. If you have that kind of power, or if you don't have that kind of power, you can do one thing, you can leave your own body. You can leave your own body. Why I am going to hear all rubbish about Prabhupada and Bhaktivinoda Thakur? Why I am going to hear about all our Guru Varga? Why I am going to hear all about the mission of Prabhupada, rubbish? Then I will have to die. I will have to die. This is the solution shown. She told, the tongue of a Vaishnava Aparadhi should be cut off. Or if this is not possible, then a fitting, strong answer should be given to stop the tongue. Or if this is also not possible, then to leave the body can be a solution. Or even if the second or the third option is that you will have to leave the spot. If you cannot find any solution, cannot give any answer, fitting answer, then you will have to stop hearing. Stop your earplug with finger and go away from that before hearing anything about Guru Vaishnava. Also, Srila Prabhupada used to speak that to become very agitated. Srila Prabhupada used to say that to become very agitated in the humiliation or criticism of Guru Vaishnava is called Vaishnavism. To become very agitated in the humiliation or criticism of Guru Vaishnava, this is called actually proper Vaishnavism. Today I like to stop here because maybe you can lose your patience to hear all about this absolute truth. So I like to stop here. I can start from this point. Maybe tomorrow or day after tomorrow I can announce. So Vancha Kalpadurvasi ke pasindi bhavesha patitanam pavane bhavesha bhyo namo namah. So Vancha Kalpadurvasi ke pasindi bhavesha patitanam pavane bhavesha. Excuse me. I am bound to speak all about the absolute truth, absolute way.